In the new studio here today, and this is exciting. We're going to be breaking down how to start wholesaling houses full time. It's going to be an exciting one, guys, and we're really just going to break it down today. We are in the new studio today, and this is where we are going to break it down. So, welcome. Rick Ginn is here today with us every Friday.
Guys?
You're going to see Rick on here, and we got a new background. Our boy Safe made it for us, emailed
Very
it
good
to us, so pretty cool.
Very nice.
It says freewholesaling.com on there. If you have not joined freewholesaling.com, I don't know what you are not doing, but yeah, welcome. Welcome. So let's talk about wholesaling houses full time. So what is your definition of wholesaling houses full time?
It's simply diving into wholesaling and making it your primary income. It's what you do for a living. So kind of the easiest way to explain it is I'll just give you my personal experience, how I did it. So I didn't start till I was 33. So most of you guys are way, way ahead of me. Obviously, Zach started when he was 17, probably 16. And so I had a full-time job. So at the time, at 33, I had obligations. This guy was a lot younger. I had my daughter, I had my wife, and I had a mortgage and all sorts of obligations. So I knew I hated my job. I hated every minute of it. I know a lot of you guys can relate to it. And it took me years to take that plunge. But once I made the commitment and the resolve, I wanted to get into wholesaling full time. The key is I didn't quit my job, but everybody's different in this scenario. Like Zach, he's got no obligations. So he's single, he's young, he doesn't have a mortgage, he's flexible. But sometimes we make changes in life. So I made my change. And it just depends on where you are in your setting. So what I did is I came up with a plan. My plan was to, within 1 year, work the wholesaling to where it was making much more than my current job. Now, I was making good money at the time. So I set a year. Fast forward, it took me 6 months to get it. And the biggest shift you have to make is you get hooked on this thing called a paycheck, a salary.
Yeah.
And usually it's every 2 weeks or bi-monthly. And that stuff's like crack. When you program the work, everybody waits for their paycheck on Friday. And when you don't get it, especially you get wholesaling, you get this panic set on you. And I don't want you guys to take that on until you have to. If you're young and you have some time, honestly, in just 90 days, you can be up and running and make it your full-time gig.
Well, do you know what a salary is, right? It's the price they give you to not follow your dreams.
It's bribery.
Yeah, it's the price you have to pay that they give you not to follow your dreams.
So that's the biggest problem. So the idea is if you're in a position where you have obligations and you have family and you're trying to make things better, don't just quit your day job. I'm just telling you right now, do not quit your day job. It'll create an incredible amount of stress. Come up with a plan if it's 6 months or 12 months. So my plan was I wanted at least 6 months of my salary set aside. And I figured if I can't make wholesaling work in 6 months, I'm probably pretty bad at it. But good news is I took off like gangbusters in my first 90 days. And in 6 months, I literally walked in my boss's office and begged him to fire me. And the rest is history.
Well, I think I don't think you haven't told anyone, but nobody, like, you were barely even working at your job. This is what he told me back in the day. He was even working at his job and they didn't even know.
Well, I went through multiple bosses. So my corporate office was 100 miles away. And I tried everything for 2 months to get fired because I'm not going to go into legal ramifications, but I had a high management job. And if they fired me, I walked away with a severance package. So I never depended on the severance package. I was ready to just walk away. And I just started making so much money with wholesaling that, guys, if you get this incredible feeling, when you get into wholesaling, you make it work and you have that full-time job, you walk in your job with a whole new attitude. You're just like, because you're not dependent on them anymore.
It's like The Office. He likes The Office. I don't think he's watched every single one. Yeah. Like I've binged it like 9 times. He was
talking about the movie or the show?
The Office, the show.
What was the one with the guy? It was
Yeah.
Office Space.
Office Space.
He
yeah,
got
yeah,
hypnotized,
Yeah.
and he just completely defied his
That
boss.
was like that one.
So I got definitely hypnotized by wholesaling. And I'm telling you, I told my wife, I go, I'm going to get fired this week. And I told her, I go, for 2 months, I have tried to break every company policy to get fired. And I was at that job 11 years, guys, 11 years. And it was a 6-figure salary, and I was scared of it. But I tell you, wholesaling changed my life, and that's the whole topic we're talking about. So first step is identify if you have obligations, you have family, do not leave them. They are your priority, and work your way into wholesaling to where you can free up cash so you're not dependent, because until you get really good at wholesaling, you might not get a paycheck every week or every other week. So in the beginning, I would go 2 or 3 months without one. And that's something we don't want you to start out doing. But on the flip side, if you have very minimal living expenses, you're not married, you don't have obligations. I don't care if you're living in your parents' basement or not. All you need is like one deal to go into this thing full time. And mostly is to prove and validate like what you're doing. Because I promise you, your family, your friends are going to think you're absolutely nuts. Yeah. By the way, outside of my wife, I got zero support from anybody. I mean, anybody. Everyone said, you're crazy, you're going to get killed. And I'm like, man, there's better things in life. And so getting in the full time. So the challenge we always talk about is, like, you can watch a million motivation videos, right? Like you guys can go online, YouTube. I know I have them, Zach has them, and it gets you all fired up and pumped. And I think we talked about this earlier. It's like, it's equivalent to like the starter in your car, right?
Yeah. You
can use motivation to get your engine started, but to really make it in wholesaling, especially full-time, you have to be disciplined. And so if the starter is your motivation, discipline is going through freewholesaling.com, and discipline is basically going to be your fuel and your oil. 2 separate things, but you constantly have to, just like your car, if you don't do your oil changes and you don't put gas in it, what happens? Nothing. And so if you don't have discipline with it, motivation's great, guys, and I love it. We all get excited in a video in a day, but at the end of the day, to make this business full-time, the discipline, the execution is what you got to keep going on it. So, so what were some other things we talked about?
Well, we had to do an announcement today. So again, I did tell some people we had an announcement today, which is pretty cool. Number one, we got the new studio. So we got a new studio. We're still in the works of finishing the other parts of it. But the cool part about the new setup we got here, the new announcement, is every Flip with Rick YouTube video and some Zach Ginn videos. Zach Ginn videos will be a little further on. They're going to be edited differently. It's different content on the Zach Ginn YouTube channel than the Flip with Rick one. But for the Flip with Rick YouTube channel, we are officially going to be in 8K. Pretty cool.
8K. I don't know how he does it.
YouTube's letting us.
I don't know the difference between 2K and 8K.
2K is a video game.
2K.
It's a joke. It's a basketball video game. But everything we're going to upload in 8K will be pretty cool. We got an 8K camera. No other guru really has that, so it's pretty cool. So we're gonna. You got to sell.
You got to sell a lot of courses to get stuff like that, though, right?
Okay. Well, here's the problem. I mean, our views have been just shooting up through the roof because we're helping so many people. And then YouTube basically gave me a choice. They said you can run 0 ads on the channel and you don't get paid, and we'll just run ads on your YouTube. So YouTube will run ads on everyone's channel, even if you don't put ads on it. It's the new policy. Look it up. It's crazy. So I was like, well, I'll just put ads on it, and then they're paying us a lot of money on YouTube ads, and I don't want the dirty money.
Yeah.
So I was like, what's the most expensive camera we can buy? And I was like, crap, they keep giving us money. So bought 4 huge 4K TVs.
Yeah, and the best part is you guys didn't even pay for it, right?
Yeah, but the problem is YouTube. If YouTube will change this, let them know if we can change it. But they will, if I turn ads off, they will run ads and I just won't get paid on it. That's why every big YouTuber on wholesaling didn't run ads and now they're running them. It's because half of them have it off and they're still running it. So I'm trying to spend the money as fast as I get it. And look up how expensive an 8K cinema camera is. Holy moly, with the cinema lens. Whoa. So we're going 8K. You know how much money we spent on it. So Pretty exciting, guys. We're gonna be 8K. No Guru's got that. So
And you guys don't even pay for it. So you listen, you pay for it with your time and your trust in us, and we don't take that for granted. So there's 3 billion courses out there. I've always said we have the only free wholesaling course out there. Wholesaling.
Okay. There is other free wholesaling courses.
I bet there's going to be a ton of them now.
Oh,
right?
They're all working on them right now. I got, trust me, I got
you
texts
guys are
from
going to
people.
see free courses everywhere because
The problem is they're not free courses. They're going to be 10% of a real course. They're going to be 10% of our course. And then on there, like, hey, if you want this version, upgrade, or they're going to put you in a funnel and try to sell you on something better. Once you're in freewholesaling.com, you're actually not going to be in a funnel. Like there's nothing. So just letting you know, they're going to collect your information and pound you like crazy. So
the more you guys subscribe to the channel and help grow our viewership, the more tools, the more information we can share for you. And guys, that's it. You get no ads. It's all organic. And we offer the only free wholesaling course. By the way, there'll be a bunch of people who duplicate us, probably take our course and just try to put their own spin on it. But I'll let you be the judge of who you want to work with.
Boom. Let's get it going. So just to keep going on wholesaling houses full time, my number one question I had for wholesaling houses full time is, when do you make that switch? When do you go from, hey, this is a part-time thing. I got kids, I got married, I got family. Actually, first of all, I'm not single. I don't want to get in trouble here. I'm just not married. I don't get in trouble with anyone watching this, but I'm just not married. So the one thing I can tell you with wholesaling houses full time is, when do you make that switch? When do you go from having a full-time job and part-time wholesaling to full-time wholesaling and just quitting that job? When do you make that switch?
I think it's a personal choice to everyone. There are some people out there that if you really love your job and you're passionate about doing it and you're using wholesaling for to grow your net worth, then that's fantastic too. What most people get into wholesaling is they're trying to grow their net worth and cover their cash flow. And the biggest challenge is the cash flow. Listen, if you hate your job and you love talking about real estate and wholesaling, then just come up with a plan with it. I said, you could be like me, where I was in my mid-30s. I had obligations. It feels more challenging doing it that way. But I got to tell you, when you press your back up against the wall and you want to make a change in your life and you identify your why. So like my biggest why I want to get out. Well, I hated my job, number one. But number two, I just had no freedom. I had to ask my boss for everything, time off. You guys that are W-2 employees, I mean, you're taxed to the neck. Like there's no write-offs. It makes out to you personally. Understanding, even say you made $100,000 a year at your job. If you made 50 or 60,000 even in wholesaling in your first year, the amount of write-offs you get and the tax savings, if you do it correct, I'm not here to give you tax advice. It's almost the same thing. And let's face it, when you're sitting at work, they say the average productivity of an employee is just under 2 hours, about an hour and a half. So you go work 8 hours, some of you guys 10. It's a joke. And I could go on forever about it. It's when you make the switch, when you just want to make a change. Me making that change is a product of him sitting here. If I sat in that regular job, he would be probably sitting at some boring accountant's desk. Didn't you study accounting a little while?
Finance.
Finance. Yeah. You know what? I got a finance degree. You know why, guys? You ready for this? Because I just want to know about money. That was it. I had so many people coming out. You got to get an accounting degree in that. I'm a whopping 2.6 GPA guy. Okay. I didn't have the attention. I was built for wholesaling. I know that. I love talking to people. I love the creativity part. And I love that I'm not sitting at a desk 8 hours a day. So to each his own.
To each their own. So what's your opinion? Because I know you're a lot. Okay. I think the difference between us is I'm a lot less risk adverse than you. You're like,
I'm a little crazy.
You'll tell someone to jump ship. I personally think, hey, you got like 3 kids and a job and a wife. Like, hey, I wouldn't go all out into wholesaling. Like 3 kids you got to feed. I think it's kind of crazy. Some people, it's your risk tolerance on it. Now, when I was 17, I had nothing to lose. Like I didn't have any baggage, anything like over my shoulders. So I could just go and quit a job. And
Let me ask you, do you think sometimes people use their youth like, well, I don't have the experience and like I'm scared to start?
Your biggest asset.
Correct. But like so many of you guys think you're so young and like, oh, I don't have the experience to do it. I go, you should think vice versa. Time is everything. Yeah. I would, ready for this, I would give up everything I own, money, income, asset wise, to go back to this age. And so whenever someone's complaining that to me in like their mid 20s or like they're 27, 28, I'm like, you want to switch? Because if I could get time back, I could multiply. It's not a time machine. Just give me time. That's all I need is time.
I mean, I'd kill to go back to 17, right where I was.
How old are you now?
21. If I go back 4 years, it would be lights over. You guys wouldn't even be wholesaling because I just would have owned the whole industry.
So when Zach has kids, they have to start wholesaling at basically 8. So I started at 33. Zach started like 16, 17. That means your kids got to start at 8.
I mean, that's a late bloomer, but that's fine. Get them on the phones. Say their first word.
Yeah, but
their first word better be, are you the owner of 123 Main Street? If it is not, we're going to have huge problems.
But once you know what your why is and why you want to do it, you're going to have to hang on it, because when times get tight, you're like, why am I cold calling 3,000 people? And go, listen, this is the reason we do it. The amount of time I was able to spend with you, like no knock, I love my father. If he's watching, I do, but he didn't spend any time with me as a kid. Like there was no time. And so the idea is when you can spend time with him, and you guys, if you guys thought I read this guy from day one about wholesaling, no, but there was a lot of things. How many houses did we stop by? Go, hey, I got to take a quick look at this house when we were like young.
A lot.
He was a lot more curious about it. My daughter was horrified on it. We drove by like really rough houses.
No, when she was like 4, no.
I hit her with some rough ones.
She was like 11. You brought her by that rat-infested house.
That was a bad one.
Remember that one with the red everywhere?
She reminds me every day of it. It was a party house gone rogue.
It was bad. The BMW and oh my gosh. That BMW was cool too.
$40,000 4-bedroom, 3-bath in Port St. Lucie. My God, I knew it was but the thing is, like, everyone's like, it's not like
cat pee in that house too.
It was bad. There was rats in the wall.
Why are you bringing her through there?
But I'd stop by, hey, I want to come by. And Zach you just have like, Zach would just love to dig through this stuff. And at one point when you were like 12, 13, you would go through and get like the golf balls out of the houses, and Zach would go, hey, there's value. And my job was, okay, let me just introduce him to the smells and the craziness. And then the idea is when he was ready to switch him over to have that conversation. And you guys kind of know how the story goes. It's and if you guys ever want to work, like, hey, you want to bring your kids in it, my suggestion is just don't shove it down their mouth, because they've got to have a curiosity. And because teaching your kids, it's actually one of the hardest things to do, because I did what my parents taught me: go to college, get a good job. And I was never meant for that. So he's programmed now, so he's well on with his kids. And
I have no kids.
Well, when you have kids.
No, not right now. Let's get some questions going.
I got to be a grandpa at some time.
Okay. We're going to talk about a couple things here. So I think then when you talk about burning the ships.
Burning the ships. Well, some people like that style. If I'm a young guy, I'm burning the ship, man. I'm going all in, because I've got time, and you'll make mistakes. You got time. Burning the ships when you got obligations, not the smartest thing. But the idea is you can start rowing the ship until you get the gas for the motor and get it going, which is going to be your discipline and your follow through. But guys, I love wholesaling because I have so many friends that do this all over the country. And what this guy does or what she does, like, we do it differently. Like, so you can make it match your personality style. And that's what I love about wholesaling is it's not a one size fits all. You do what you love. Like, I hate accounting. I hate doing like financial worksheets. And that's where I bring other people in to help me out with it. When it comes to talking to people in sales and building rapport, it's what I'm best at. It's why I did so well in wholesaling. I was getting monster deals. And so, like, I'm known for very low overhead and huge margins. I'm not going to sit here and do $2,000 and $3,000 deals, but If I was starting out and I was 17, 18, I'd take that stuff all day long, whatever I could to learn and earn and keep it growing.
Yeah. I mean,
so burning the ships has its motivation built in there, because the idea is if you go on land and you like burn the ship or you sink it, you have no plan B.
yeah.
So there's no retreat. You have to make it work. So when times get tough, you have to double down where to go. Yeah, maybe I'll just go back over to my little corporate job here. It was pretty safe.
There's interesting burning the ships like that and, have a very comfortable job and then, giving the middle finger to the boss and, just smashing the windows to some employees you don't like and just saying, I'm never going back. There's never seen that, but burn the ships. I agree. You will have more time, but I know a lot of people stop their part-time job, their part-time wholesaling and go full-time because they think it's a time issue. And it's like, hey, you can do both. I'd rather do it both. I'd rather you do all of your time. So a quick analogy I had was when I was at college. So I came back from college after a couple semesters to keep just wholesaling because I was doing the cold calling virtual, but I knew I could make way more money going back home, physically wholesaling real estate. And I had two choices. I could have, this was at University of Florida back the day. So I was taking all my classes online because the business school, especially in finance, they let you take the classes online. But the exams were online, but the teaching lessons were recorded. So I had a choice. I could have said, screw it, I'm going to drop out and work 12 hours a day for wholesaling and be that cool guy. Or I could have done something else where this is what I did was I worked 12 hours for wholesaling and then I spent 3 hours a day literally doing schoolwork. I worked out for about 30 minutes to an hour and then went back to bed and slept. I did that literally every single day, did school Sunday, Saturday, worked 12 hours, did school at nights. Like it was crazy. And I got my degree in 18 months doing that. But I'm telling you right now, like use that analogy for me. You don't make going full time as an excuse. You just have to look at your time. If you guys have an iPhone, look at your time you spend on like TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, at Facebook. Guys, you can do both. You just 8 hours of sleep is a luxury. You can work on 6, like literally, and you can still work out.
Yeah. And one more thing to add, those of you that are younger, that are currently in college, or you're like, oh, should I do college?
I had a full ride scholarship though, by the way. So actually I was getting paid to go to school, but it's for a different day.
Yeah.
It's different.
Okay. So people ask, should I go to college or not? Listen, college wasn't a good fit for me because I was trying to learn marketing and sales from very antiquated, and that was back in the early 90s. So I know I'm aging myself, but if you have a scholarship, or I'm going to tell you, most of your parents, they're going to tell you to go to college. Just look at college as scholastic as like finishing high school. If you're in it, my suggestion is just get it done and get it over with, because if you don't, sometimes you don't finish college and you're living under your parents' roof, it's tough and it's challenging. You can still do college and do wholesaling, like hands down. College is definitely not a requirement. There's a few things that might help you out with. Sales and marketing, absolutely not, in my opinion. So if you college, just get it done. So just like you went through high school, just get it done as fast as you can and get out of the way. It makes a beautiful decoration on the wall, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, I mean, you got it right there.
So,
huge.
And guys, don't confuse college football with colleges. We love college football, but college is college. That's it. If you're paying for it on your own, you're going broke with student loans, get the hell out if you want to do wholesaling. It doesn't make sense at all. So I think colleges are the trade schools of what we call the professional arts, which is engineering, medical. What else is in it? Accounting, and like psychologies.
There's nursing.
Nursing.
Medical,
yeah. But that's your trade schools for it. But like for business, especially in real estate, if you wanted to be a wholesaler, I don't care, a real estate agent, a broker, I don't know, man. Like I either get done with college, get out, move on, but do not. The worst thing you do is go into massive debt, and then you're doing it backwards, because then you're taking your first $100,000 of fees and paying off all that student loan, which is a really poor investment. So
I agree.
Just a disclaimer on that.
That's true. Last part here too on the wholesaling houses full-time side. Before we'll get some questions. So guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Also, let me know what market you're coming in at. Guys, I want you guys to network with everyone in the comments below. It helps. Guys, let's say you got a deal here in Jacksonville, Florida, hey, I have a deal in Jacksonville, Florida. Put that in the comments. Someone in Jacksonville is going to see that in the comments. We have, there's no ego in play here. There's tens of thousands of people that literally follow us, subscribe to us. They will see this. And you can JV with these people on here. So guys, if you have a deal you want to get done, put it in the comments. Also put your handles on Instagram, DM me on Facebook, John Smith here. Guys, this is your opportunity to network and get your deal sold. I'm telling you right now. Hey, look, Steven here. Steven Cruz, Facebook. I have a deal in Macon. Hit him up. If you have Macon, you have cash buyers, hit Steven up. I'm telling you. All right. So the one part here that I want to talk about is I've been watching a lot of stuff and talking to Rick lately about what makes someone really successful, especially when you're wholesaling houses full time. Like when you go full out in this business, what's the difference between someone who makes 6 figures a year, 7 figures? And I want to ask you a question, see if you know, because I know the answer personally for me. Okay. I think I can tell you because I do the Bags for Just podcast. I think I've talked to more 7-figure wholesalers than you. Almost. I'm almost there.
Well, I've done it over 20 years.
Yes, but individually,
okay,
I'm getting it.
There's a lot more of them now.
There's a lot of faker ones out there too. But from what I've seen with 7-figure wholesalers, ones that make $1 million per year net profit versus ones that make 6 figures, I have seen that every single 7-figure wholesaler that I've ever talked to or have seen, they all had discipline in their business. What do you think about that? Have you seen a 7-figure wholesaler with no discipline in their business?
It's impossible. You can't do it. So as I said, discipline is like the gas and really the oil of your car. Without it, the whole engine's going to fall apart. So discipline is just the consistent action of doing the same thing over and over, regardless of who's watching. So
say the last part one more time.
Regardless of who's watching, you
Yes.
you cannot make your actions, especially in wholesaling, based on what other people think of you. It's a waste of time.
There's a difference between going on your phone right now and posting on Facebook, I'm grinding, and you actually go in there putting the work. There's a difference.
Grinding, hustling. What's the other one that drives me nuts? Not the I'm blowing up. It'll come to me.
Killing it.
I'm killing it. Dude, what the hell's killing it mean?
I know.
Like it just seems, guys, just if you want to be impressed by it. And the reality is most people you're going to see on the internet, the reality is they're going to show you these monster checks, 2 million net, but they'll never share with you what they've spent to get it. Now, you guys can go in previous video. I've talked about it before. I've been doing this for a while. I know exactly what I spend, but to do huge lists, like 50, 100,000 people at a time, the data is expensive, plus the employees, the overhead, the offices. Once you start hearing about offices and overhead, unless they own the building, it's impressive, but I like to spend as much of my money towards marketing as humanly possible, and then key employees that help you grow the business.
I agree. I mean, discipline is everything in this business. And guys, get disciplined. It's discipline in your whole life too. You just don't, like a 7-figure wholesaler or a successful 6-figure wholesaler or someone who's just doing deals now, they don't wake up in the morning and say, what should I do today? They have the full thing set up. Hey, I need to go get 100 Driving for Dollars leads. I got to cold call 2 to 7 p.m. I got to follow up with all these sellers on my Podio. I got to do X, Y, Z. Got to cold call. I got to add 300 cash buyers from Facebook. They have a plan.
And so you guys don't freak out. In the beginning, I had to do all of it. Like honestly, for 7 years, for full disclosure, I was a one-man army because I didn't know any better. And I started finding people to help me out and do it. And then Zach was a big part of my business. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel is once you get your systems and you understand the business and you get people to help you out, is you get a lot of freedom with your time. Like once you get this business up and running and you get your confidence through the roof, how many hours of quality per day do you actually work in wholesaling once it's all up and running?
I mean, Joey, it's like
it's
3 to 4
embarrassing.
hours. He's gonna be mad at me. It's like 3 to 4 hours.
Not even that.
Not even that. Well, this time spent I think about wholesaling is kind of crazy, but yes, it's about 2 to 3, honestly.
So the idea is you pick the business you think that will help out your lifestyle. So I wanted more freedom and time. You guys, anybody knows me, I love fishing. I love the outdoors. So I get up in the morning. I can either go work out get all my emails down before anybody else is up, and then I can go hop on a boat and do fishing. If I told you how many phones I've lost in the ocean, nobody would believe me. So I'm up to 5 because in the summer it's hot and sweaty. Phones slip down. I used to do deals out on the boat. I don't even have to do that anymore. And then I can come back.
How many phones have you lost on the boat?
5.
5.
I've lost 5.
Say it one more time.
And I've had a couple close calls. I've lost 5 phones. I'm
Remember the last time you
uninsurable
lost
on the
your
boat.
phone?
That was terrible.
You're like this reeling in.
Yeah.
And it just.
I've gotten some of my best deals. So I'm either talking to an employee. I've now kind of switched. Like most of the boats, you can do like Bluetooth and answer it. But the idea is get far enough away where the dang phone doesn't even ring. But what I can do is I get my morning set up, and then I can come back in the afternoon, get stuff done. And hey, why not do an evening fishing trip or a boating trip? And that's what wholesaling does for me. I didn't start out like that, but I promise you, every day is like that for me. Heck, I don't even know what day of the week it is half of the time, other than my calendar.
Yep.
It's Friday?
You know you got to go live on Friday. So
okay.
All right, guys. Let's get some questions. See what I can help you guys out
with. Let's go.
Steven loves the studio. Hey, Rick, you're the true OG of wholesaling. I love it. Good afternoon, guys.
Old language there.
Father-son teamwork's inspiring. Hi, guys. What's up? Colleen says it's scary being stuck on a salary, trading time for money. I definitely agree.
We should do a show on like working with family sometime.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I'm never going to get my wife on camera to do it, but I made so many mistakes the first 7 years working with my wife. I think she fired me 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
And I couldn't fire her.
Clive says there's another word for it in the English, particularly London. You guys are the dogs. Bollarks.
All
right.
I got to look that up.
Hopefully that's not an English curse word.
I got to write that down.
No. Tony, what's up? Did you curse out your old boss on your last day?
Well, they threatened me with lawyers and said I quit. I said no. And I just sat there and played chicken the whole time. I got to tell you, it was probably one of the greatest feelings in my life. And those of you that have a job relate that you got, am I allowed to use the word?
What?
Ass of a boss.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
You're killing this YouTube thing. They're not going to show us.
I know, but I'm telling you, man, when you have a same guy stuffing it down your throat for like 10 years plus, the satisfaction. And the thing is, guys, I did driving for dollars. So I managed the territory. So everybody knows who I work for. I don't want to get sued by them or anything like that, but I would drive from one location to the other, and I learned driving for dollars. And boy, did that pay off big.
All right. So let's see here. Josh says 2 hours of cold calling today. Let's get it.
Awesome.
Keisha says, love the background.
It is nice.
Jogu Choi says, hey, Zach. Sorry, I'm definitely saying your name wrong. Hey, Zach, and nice seeing you for the first time. Rick. First time?
Yeah. So
where have you been?
Well, you do this a lot more than I do. So I'm on live every Friday, and I record videos each week, and we post. How often do we post on this channel?
Every single day.
Every single day. Anybody else do that?
Well, they do, but they do clips. It's not actual, like a real video. The one thing, guys, remember,
it's too hard. It's a lot of work.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, the gurus that don't post every day, they don't do it because they're too busy doing Zooms because they pay $15,000 to see them, and they're in a Zoom with like 500 other people. You think you're gonna get your personal mentorship with 500 other people paying $10,000 now?
So this is the Zoom then, right?
This is the Zoom.
Wow.
And I answer every single question.
Where do they put in their credit card?
Put the credit card information, you got to put in as your own marketing dollars.
I heard from somebody, which everybody can take, that giving stuff away free does a disservice to our users. I would love to hear people's feedback on that, because I disagree. It's okay with it. I just disagree. Like,
you know my position on it.
Disservice. I think I'm servicing you guys quite well.
Oh my gosh, Clive, do you know what is the highest compliment? Don't you? I do not know, but if it is, I appreciate it. I'm gonna go look it up later.
Is that the B comment? I don't even know if that's a bad word.
Well, let me look it up.
You don't have to look it up.
I'm interested. Oh my God.
Okay.
Cold calling as I watch you guys. Let's be grateful, like and share. Juan Arrow, always doing it. Thank you so much.
I like his little avatar there.
Yeah, that's Albert Einstein.
Albert.
I love it. It's Braz says, do you think wholesaling will become regulated?
It just depends on what state you're in. Unfortunately, government feels the need to
Realtors.
Well, okay, realtors. Government decides that stuff has to be regulated when there's too many complaints or there's too much competition. And plus, we got to deal. Well, I'm not going to use words like this. We have to use with the strong arm of the NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors. If you guys get a moment, why don't you Google up, because they're under investigation by the Department of Justice.
Yeah.
And there's also a massive lawsuit on the monopoly they have on commission structures, their agreement with Zillow, and they're under massive fire right now. So listen, regulation, you can't control it. I can't control it. So how many states? There's 2 or 3 right now, right? I think it's Kansas, Illinois.
No, it's Oklahoma, Illinois.
I think Kansas is on there now.
Really?
I got to find out. I was born there.
I know you're born there.
But listen, do not spend energy. Just make sure you follow the law. The worst case scenario is,
if I was in Oklahoma right now, I'd probably get a license.
Just get a license. Like, just move on. You can't get around it. You're not going to be able to beat them. And you guys understand, if the government goes after you. What's that?
Double close.
Yeah. It's not the end of the world. A really good deal.
I want you to say this because I don't think no one on YouTube talks about this, because everyone's licensed. So they're like, just drink the Kool-Aid and talk about it.
Licensing doesn't mean anything other than you paid a fee.
Am I right here that if you are a licensed realtor, NAR, I'm not going to say the word, I don't want to get in trouble, the National Association of, real estate agents, other word.
Mafia.
Okay.
So what it is.
Guys, this is all for entertainment purposes only. We are not lawyers, financial advisors, or legal counsel. Please seek legal counsel for anything before I say this so I don't get in trouble. But
okay.
Don't you agree, you've seen this before, can't NAR or the council take away your assignment fees if it's just too big or they don't like it?
Yeah. So
can you give an example really quick? I know you've said the story before, but I think people need to understand this.
I had somebody I know quite well within the country, I'm not getting about specific states, made a huge assignment fee, a 6-figure assignment fee. And somebody complained after the transaction. And what happens when you're part of NAR, you agree that if there's a complaint, you have to answer in front of a board. So there's a whole board there, and you meet with you, and they make a determination on ethics. It's not on law. Law is a big part of it, but ethics. And they found him guilty. It was a guy, of course. And not only did he have to give back the $100,000, he got a fine on top of it because they felt he wasn't acting in the financial best interest of their client, and felt that he took advantage. And I didn't, because I know the deal, and he was just stuck. So not only did he lose the $100,000, he paid like a $15,000 penalty fee, and he got. Well, by the way, they're all under. The agents are under a brokerage, and then the broker, if they wind up getting sued, they can file an insurance claim, and it gets like really ugly. So what I'm saying is, when you become licensed, you are now regulated, and you have a new mom and dad. And if they don't like what you're doing, even if listen, guys, if it's legal, that's one thing. But then they bring in like their own code of ethics. And remember, they write the books of code of ethics. You just sign it, yes or no. You join it, you can't alter it. And that's the risk of doing it. So the idea is it's supposed to protect the homeowner, but the reality is, guys, if you get an upset realtor or something like that, and you're in one of these states, like, you could fall into these same type of deals. So some of you get it to go, hey, I'm just going to do it to get out ahead of the curve. My opinion is, do not do it unless you have to. You are under the scrutiny of a board. And not only is that, do you know how much it costs to sign up for a realtor and all these fees for access to MLS? So we do 4 different markets, and I think we're in excess of like $10,000 is what we pay in fees. It's absolutely insane. So if you're just doing it for wholesaling, it wouldn't make sense. In the old days, the reason we did it is that's how we got comps. Today, absolutely not. You go to listrei.com, get all the comps you want. I mean, it's all at your fingertips. We used to have to beg realtors for everything, and you actually had to work with them. There's some very good realtors out there. I'm not knocking realtors, but for the most part, is the regulation thing can really blow up on you. So I wouldn't do it unless you had to.
I agree 100% there. So next question here is right with you, Rick. I think having obligations motivates you even more. Interesting.
Listen, I don't know about you guys. I've always done my best work with my back up against the wall. So like, you know how we all have deadlines and we do stuff like that. Now, I don't want it to get like that, but I tell you what, I felt like I was in financial dire when I was leaving my job. Like I was literally paycheck to paycheck. We might have had 4 or 5 months of like savings. I was never going to get ahead. And to get ahead, I had to keep doing more and more for my boss. And it was like 70, 80 hours a week. I'd have to go like drink with him out on parties. And if I didn't, I was like socially like unacceptable. And it just, you guys know what I'm talking about. I hated it. So when I was pressed against the wall, and so I got a commission and a base salary check, I go, man, if I could just replace that and do that. And then I said, I did it within 90 days, but within 6 months, I made the leap. And then my plan was 12 months. So it's, guys, let me tell you what, man, you have no idea what you can get done in life. The only limit you put on yourself is yourself. Yeah. So think about like what Zach's doing and stuff. Like he basically started at 16 years old, started programming his mind, and he's further along than when I was 33. And so like, and it doesn't matter. You can start this at 70. The beauty of this is, God forbid I became disabled or I got stuck in a wheelchair, and I don't wish that on anybody. I could still do wholesaling, guys, because you're really just kind of using your mind. And most good wholesalers, they never retire from the business because it's like a big monopoly game. Like the idea is collect as many houses you can, flip them. Let's keep this one. And it's fun. And I look at the prices from when I started buying and where I am now. And it's just like, it's just a game. Like the houses I bought for $20,000, they're worth $400,000 now. Yeah. And it's just so fun to go back and look at the whole thing. So
boom. All right. So next question for you here is, I'm 17 and a bird dog, need help on finding people to call like a list.
So what's the best list recommendation?
Driving for dollars, right? Hands down.
Driving for dollars. Guys, I want you to understand this. I know driving for dollars is very rudimentary. I got started in driving for dollars. I also work with realtors. But
Chris, let me know what market you're in. That helps a lot too.
Yeah. Understand that if you pay to get a deal, say you got a list, you cold call, I don't care, you direct mail, whatever. By the time you go out to the house and you meet with the customers and the sellers, and remember, this is in your own backyard, and you go, my God, I've driven by this house like 8 times. Like the roof's falling off. And guys, the clues are there in driving. Would you agree almost every house we see, for the most part, probably 80%, would you say, when you walk up to it and you go, okay, I know what's going to go on with this house. Because if you have the right lists and you identify them. So if I need sweat equity, and especially I got time in a car, I'm going to go out and do driving for dollars. You will hit one with driving for dollars. Is it fun? Not really. But I get car sick when I do driving for dollars. I get but in the old days, because we actually had to take a pen and we had to write down an address. Yeah. I know that's like overwhelming, but it's, I love it, man. Listen, driving for dollars, it doesn't have, you can still do cold calling and everything like that. But I can tell you how many times I connected with sellers driving for dollars. I go, hey, what's going on with this house? And even if you got the neighbor, boy, they'd sing like a canary for 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And they go, well, the husband died. I think it's getting ready to go to probate. And I love those. And then any type of off-market list, would you agree?
Yeah, just government list probably, yeah. Yeah, that's probably the best one.
Co-violations are great.
Oh, my God.
There's no more secrets out there.
I agree. So we're going to go speed round really quick.
Okay, let's do it.
We're going to get through some questions pretty fast. We're going to give pretty fast answers and see what we got. So Keisha Clark, how many hours do you cold call a day? I used to do 2 to 7 p.m.
0.
Well, technically right now it's 0, but actually I did 2.5 hours yesterday just for you guys on the live. But personally, for me, no. I used to be 2 to 7 p.m. every single day, 5 days a week when I was in college and when I kind of came back. So that'd be the best schedule. Paul wants to know, how do you schedule your wholesale day full time? Not now. If you're a full-time wholesaler, solopreneur, what would your schedule, perfect one, look like?
So it's real simple. So I did a video on this.
Yeah.
But I'll give you the short-term answer. I would block 2 hours in the morning, preferably a time before 9 a.m. So from like 6 to 8 a.m., get your emails. And then the night before, you have to set your schedule. You do not set it that morning. So you get that I like 2-hour blocks, because I've already told you, if an employee is only productive 2 hours a day, you just got 2 hours and you got it done. So then you can get your cup of coffee, get going, and that leaves you a wide open schedule. And then around 2 o'clock, I'm going to do probably another 2 to 3 hour block. Maybe it's cold calling, anything like that. And then I'll set probably 1 hour aside in the evening. So that's 2, 5, that's 6 hours a day. But if you think every minute from the minute you wake up, the minute you go to bed is scheduled, you guys can get that stuff at a regular job. You don't need that. You need just good time blocks. And you need to have a time. Why I like the first 2 hours in the morning is because if you have young kids, it's a different story. Yeah. But if you have other people in the house, a spouse or anything like that, I just love to get it done with nothing getting in my way.
I agree.
And so just the time blocks. Guys, you didn't get in this job to work 10, 12 hours a day. If you want to put it together, if you want to do like a 10-hour cold calling marathon, knock yourself out. But save tank, you can't do that every day. You just won't make it.
I agree.
Time blocking is the best way to do it.
Boom. Let's see here. Congratulations. Studio looks great. Let's go. NBA 2K.
2K. Is that
Chris, that's the video game.
We should do a gaming one sometime.
Oh my gosh.
How can you lose?
How can I wholesale a single family home owned by a company like a church? Is it worth it? A couple like those in Fort Pierce, right?
The technical answer, there is no difference. I've worked with churches before. By the way, unfortunately, churches they will fall in a lot of your lists depending on how you search for them, because
I take them out.
Yeah. Well, the problem is a church, typically you want to sell it to a church because that's what it's designed for.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of private money loans on churches. So listen, if there's a deal there, then it's being foreclosed on it. Treat it just like a regular house. Remember, your captive market is going to be another church.
Exactly.
So you'd have to extend your cash buyers list to churches.
Boom. Donna likes the new background. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Super team, Rick and Zach. Thank you. Congrats on making that money. Ralph says, I think you guys should switch and have your names behind the correct person.
We talked about that earlier.
Oh my
Should we do that right now?
No.
Listen, you don't want me operating the computer full time because you guys won't get any. I'll get like 3 questions answered.
I'm close to the computer to operate.
Zach took it away from me. So I tend to have longer explanations of just who I am. I want to help everyone. And Zach's much more business-like. So honestly, when there's 2 of us, he'll always work the computer. That way we get more of your questions answered.
Oh, yeah.
Next.
Nicole says, you guys are awesome. Thank you. Chris says, I need help. I'm 17 and need help finding sellers to cold call. What tools do you get to get a list to cold call? Drive for dollars, get government list, water shutoffs, code violations, probates, tax liens. Guys, if you go to freewholesaling.com, freewholesaling.com, literally it's all in there for free.
And by the way, I think most of the questions we ask on our live streams
all be answered
in freewholesaling.com. It's all in there. Guys, just assume you spent $5,000 on the course and do the buy-in and go take your wife or your spouse out to a nice vacation or anything like that. It's just, what's the difference if you pay someone $7,000 for a course or you get it for free? I'm told you don't have the buy-in. Your buy-in's whatever you feel is necessary with it. So I think your time is like your biggest investment. But I guess if you want to send me $5,000 for the buy-in, knock yourself out. I'm sure we can send you a link to it.
Oh yeah.
So,
let's see here. I'm trying to find this. All right. What's up, guys? How's it going?
What's up, Ralph?
Let's see. Not as good as yours at all. I don't know what that was. Context on that one. AK stepping up big leagues. I appreciate it. It's my situation. I like the background. Thank you. The taxes are ridiculous. This Atlanta market is tough. If you go outside of the metro, you'll find a lot of good success there. I'm the first in my family in trying to break the cycle. That's amazing. Love hearing that. Kara left my CFO job in March to go full time. Wow.
Wow. CFO.
Congrats.
Now you're the CFO, the CEO, the COO, like
the
what
janitor,
other? Yeah,
everything.
the marketing master.
Tiffany says you're both made for wholesaling. Thank you. I appreciate it. Colleen says we did the math and my husband works 4 months out of the year just to pay taxes. Makes no sense. It's crazy.
So that's one of the other beauties when really you get any type of, I don't even call it self-employment, but once you understand how the rules of the games are played, is you can make investments, you can have legal write-offs. The problem is a straight up W-2 employee. What percentage we know comes right off the top? And I'm what, 20, depending on your tax bracket, anywhere from 20 to 24%, like right off the bat.
Yeah, you got FICA taxes, but that's like 7.65. So
yeah, but I mean, and then you guys, like everyone talks about, oh my God, I tell you, anybody gets if you're talking about getting a refund from the government, you really got to take a look at like what you're doing. It's your dang money and they held it and they paid you no interest on it. I like to write a big fat check either quarterly or yearly because I know I'm maximizing my family's finances. So
exactly. Keisha just requested to join the Mastermind group. Congrats. Welcome. Again, the free Mastermind below is Wholesaling Houses for Real, one of the fastest growing Facebook groups in the country. It's the largest wholesaling mastermind in the country. And I'm proud to say that. How did you start wholesaling? I'm guessing at 17, bandit signs. Keep going fast here. I'm the Akron market, low population, low spread. Should I go virtual in Columbus? Clean up in Akron. I'm telling you, you learn the business and go in and out, do a lot of deals fast, and try to find some higher price point markets. Question for you is, in your opinion, should you get an LLC before your first deal?
Well, it just depends on when you're starting out. So guys, getting an LLC it's $125 to do it.
Oh, if you're in California, it's like $700-800.
I know
it's crazy.
Nevada's, I think it's $300 or $500 to set it up. So most states on average is around $100, $150. That's what it costs to do it. And it's good for 12 months. As long as your contract's assignable, you can go out. So like me, Rick Ginn, I can write a contract as long as there's an assignment clause in there, just saying I have the right to assign the contract. You can go get your LLC after the fact. It's not that. So listen, we're all trying to like save money. I wouldn't open the LLC until you have something under contract. Now, like Florida has a backlog. It takes almost like 30 days to get one right now.
Gosh.
So like everything else with going on in the world right now, some things take a little bit more time. So if you have the money to go ahead and set it up and you're going to do the business full time, if you made that commitment, I would absolutely do it. And by the way, you can do the LLC yourself. You don't need you don't need a lawyer to do it, right?
No, when I started my first LLC, no, it was a S corp when I started out. But I did all myself.
As you grow your business, then you can consult with a lawyer. Most lawyers, in my opinion, are going to recommend that you have your own LLC to do any type of real estate transactions other than your own home.
Boom. All right. We're going to get some more quick questions here. Son asked if he can cold call. He's 11. I love it. That's so sweet. Teaching my 7-year-old.
See, they're already. Woo! I mean, we need to have like a wholesaling boot camp for like 12 and under.
That'd be a
we
fun
teach
one.
them how to wholesale like their Lego toys.
Yeah, that'd be great. Oh my gosh. Trucker Curtis, if you had $5K to spend to get started, how would you spend that $5,000? I personally would spend it on gas money for drawing for dollars, or get a VA to cold call government lists, including probates. What do you think?
Here's what I do. Pretend you spent that $5K on a course and figure out what you're going to do from that point forward. A lot of you think if I had 10 grand sitting aside, if I had 25 grand sitting aside, if I had 5 grand, honestly, you should think about it the other way. I've always told you my back pressed against the wall is I don't want to fail. You get it going. Guys, you can get a deal for free. I'm just telling you, can you buy into it? But most of the time you don't have the experience to put the tools in place. So start out at freewholesaling.com, go through the whole thing. Just assume you spent 5K, but I tell you what, I'll give you the discount fee of 4K, and then you spend $1,000 on marketing and use that course. Here's how I did marketing when I didn't have the money to do it. I wanted to make sure my money counted to the highest and best use leads. And I would meticulously go through that list, and I would like anything that had like a outside the United States mailing, I just got rid of. Yeah. With the idea of the mail was like going to make it there, just like that. But some people go out and they spend the 5K and they don't know what they're doing and they lose it. And they're like, okay, what? And then they get really smart because guess what? You have to be resourceful. How do they say it? You have to use your own resourcefulness. You can't buy the resources. Yeah. And so many people do the other way. So basically, pretend you gave me 3K, take 1K, set it aside for your family, and take the other K and spend it on marketing. Go through the freewholesaling.com and you find out which you think is the best way to do it.
Perfect. Boom. Heidi says, I'm getting ready to wholesale in Knoxville, but since the population is less than 200K, should I look into other markets as well? Port St. Lucie is 180,000 people, and we're at seven figures on that. So
yeah, 200,000 is dynamite.
You know, people in Knoxville killing it, right?
Yeah. So
I use that word. Sorry.
And I like Knoxville. It's got a lot of multifamily, a lot of multifamily. So there's a lot of opportunity there. But 200,000 is a gift. We have towns of like 10 and 20,000. You want to talk about difficult getting leads?
Yeah.
So you're in good shape on that one.
Boom, boom, boom.
Do it, Heidi. You got it.
Let's get some questions going. A lot of people saying what markets they're in. I love it. I'm telling you, 6 figures is still good. Like some people don't want to make 7 figures. They don't want to do the effort. They don't want to. It's not that. They just don't want the hassle, the scaling and stuff. Hey, don't do it.
Like what? I mean, people always ask, like, what's your number? Like listen, most people who do wholesaling, the truth is, most people that do it are single operators or there's a couple people.
Yeah.
So we do our whole company with 4 people. You know why? Because I had as many as 15. It's a nightmare, guys. I can go get a regular job anytime I want and manage like 20, 30 employees. I used to have 55 employees. But at the end of the day, I was on call 24/7. I hated every minute of it. If I want to take time off, I take time off. In the beginning, I didn't want to take time off because I was building my wholesaling machine. But now I can take all the time off I want. So freedom will give you whatever you want. I got into wholesaling for freedom of time to spend more time with my family. And it took a while, but I'm telling you, this is the reason me and him are sitting right here in front of you.
Boom, boom, boom. Let's see here. Next question from Joel here. I keep getting these people asking $500,000 for a $350,000 property because of the market. Now, what do you say? By the way, you guys are the bomb. It's an easy one.
Easy.
Qualify. Ask the 4 questions.
Yeah. So listen, the first rule of thumb is if you have the right list, you should have the right people. Now, understanding not everybody. So everybody on that list is the correct term. So you guys use it is a prospect. That's not a lead. So if I got 10,000 people on a list, understanding probably less than 3% are even going to want to talk to me. So understanding you're going to get people with nothing but time on their hands that does stuff like this. But here's my opinion. When people call you, there's always a reason somebody calls you. Don't ever underestimate it. Listen, how many people are you willing to call and tell? I go, hey, listen, Zach, I got your postcard. I'm in huge financial, like dire straits. My house is a piece of junk and I need you to buy it. It never starts out like that. We have this thing called an ego and we want to feel good about it. And your job is to help them make feel good. If you start discounting them right off the bat, then you're going to assume everyone who doesn't call you and say their house is a piece of junk, you're not going to buy it. So it's a prospect. When they call you, it's a lead. It's up to you to qualify them. Yeah, some people are going to do it. I don't care what they ask for the house. How many times do we get this? Hey, the house was $350. I want $500. What can you do for me? What's your next response to them?
Oh, great. I mean, why were you possibly even looking to sell it?
Tell me a little bit more about the house.
That's it. Why don't you list with a realtor?
Do not attack on the first word, because how many times do we sit in conversations with people and we make judgments on people and what they're wearing or what they look like and find out you have a quality person in front of you and you're discounting them because they're wearing like a tank top. You don't think they're professional. And so many people do it. You got to get through that first layer and connect with people. People don't want to tell you they're dirt. They don't know you right off the bat. I've had so many. And honestly, so say if I want 350 and the house is worth 350. Listen, a lot of times I can make those deals work all day long because I don't have to go. Now, when they ask, here's my favorite one. They go, I want $1 million for my house. Gosh. Yeah, listen, I'm not here to like chase them around. I'm still going to qualify them no matter what happens. They call, you guys we spend money for these leads. You're going to find a gem hidden behind there.
Oh yeah.
And they're looking to see how you react. If you're negative and like running people over, it's like, it ain't going to get you far. So look at it as a business full time.
Boom. Jonathan says, if we get buyers' emails from Facebook, what do we do with their email, or send them if they need POF, proof of funds first before giving out address, right? Or do we ask them for their phone number? Jonathan, I would email ask the phone number. Just create a connection with these cash buyers. That's what it's all about. Get a proof of funds before you started sending addresses. There's a huge one. Make sure it's from an actual bank. Make sure it's not from a lender. That is 100% what I would start doing now. Collect addresses. It's so easy. You get 300 a day in your local market. It's so easy. If you go to freewholesaling.com, show you exactly how to do it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely for free. I mean, what's some other tips you got for cash buyers, especially from Facebook?
So the biggest thing is when I see a lot of you guys say, well, you know, they get upset when they ask me for proof of funds. You just saved 20 minutes. You just saved 30 minutes. I'm telling you, ask 10 people for a proof of funds. If 1 or 2 come up with it, it's absolutely amazing. And I've learned, it took me years to understand this. Like, serious buyers do not play. And when we're selling, I'm not here to build like rapport with you. I did it all to get the deal.
Yeah.
I want to find the person who's ready to go at my strike price and get it done. The reason they don't give you a proof of funds is because they're not telling you the truth. And I'd rather just cut to the chase.
I agree. Let's see here. We're just going to choose a couple quick questions because we got to get off soon. There's like so many questions here. Let me find what. Let's see here. What's the best strategy? How long?
I had a lot of questions.
I'm telling you, I know. We only had an hour. I know.
I have to go longer.
Oh my gosh. We got the dream team. Tim has an interesting one. I'll talk about it. Their argument is that people don't value free things. Yes. What would you do? What would happen if Facebook charged you 10 grand to go on their platform? Would you do it? Do you think Facebook's worth 10 grand for that platform?
How much you pay for Google?
It's free.
So guys, we talked about
how valuable is Google in your life? I would pay $10 a month for Google.
How many apps are we're not charging you $10, not doing any of it. The idea is we want to change the business, how it's done. Since I've been in this business since 2003, 2004, to right up to where we are now, I got to tell you in the beginning, it was an honor to pay someone for a course because there was this thing called the barrier to entry. You had to pay 10, 20 grand back in early 2000 just to get a course out there. You had to get a guy to write code. You had to get someone to record it, edit it. It was really expensive. Today, listen, guys, the reality is under $100, anybody can sell a course. And most gurus out there are from 2013 on. I'll be honest with you, 2013, it's really hard not to make money in this business. But
it's true.
Things will change. A lot of like these buying, I only worry about like me, and I teach the fundamentals. I love wholesaling because you can assess your risk in it. That's the beauty of it. It's the quickest way to scale to financial freedom without putting up your family fortune doing it. And not everyone does it. So understanding everyone around you, they're probably not going to support you in wholesaling if you accept it. But if you join a community like this, subscribe to our channel, the idea is to get like-minded people. And we do this business every day, guys.
Oh, yeah.
So in between talking to you, always running around properties and doing stuff. I love the chase of real estate. So I'll never stop doing this. I'll do it to the day I die. I just enjoy, not to use a Trump quote, but like the art of the deal. Like I love when a contract signed, but I gotta be honest, the minute this is a contract signed, I have ADHD. I'm like, okay, let's get another one. I want to get another one. And that's, guys, when you get a contract, listen, celebrate the wins and rewards, but like you got to go get your next contract. And so many people in the beginning, they spend all that time. They go, ooh, what if we fix and flip it and do stuff like that? That's what you don't want to do. That's why wholesaling is so valuable.
Boom, boom, boom. Let's see here. Let's see. Love Rick and Zach. Love the new background. Thank you. We're going to what market we're currently in. Mostly we're doing Port St. Lucie, Florida, just because that's our local market and our average deal is like 40K there.
And we're told this is probably one of the most saturated markets in the country. That's why we double down and we do it. And I've been doing it longer than anybody else in my current market that I'm aware of. So
Tulu, what's the biggest reason you think new wholesalers quit? One word, that's patience. What do you think?
Lack of discipline and not knowing their why.
Exactly. Let's see. Last couple questions here. Can you cold call on Saturday? Of course. I've seen plenty of videos on wholesaling. And I know I can do it. And I know once I start, I'll be like a rocket and go straight, but I don't know why I'm scared to start. Action.
Yeah, because you're outside your comfort zone. But guys, when you're uncomfortable, that's when amazing things happen in your life. So I'm not talking about putting your hand on a hot burner. That's the wrong kind of uncomfortable. But you're so ingrained of what you've done to this point from your parents and your family that you don't know anything else. So when it's change, it's like taking that rock and trying to just get it started. It's brutal. But man, when it gets going, you better get out of the way.
Boom, boom, boom. Hey, I'm 15. And what do I do to get started? Drive for dollars. Go to freewholesaling.com. It'll help you out the most here. Is wholesaling land easier than homes, even if it's on the MLS? If on MLS, I think no. What do you think?
Nothing on MLS, guys. You're literally you're going to waste so much time on it. MLS is for that special group.
Boom, boom, boom.
That organization.
Emilio says, watching this live as I'm on my way to a seller appointment. Let's get it.
Oh,
woo!
Man. Boy, that'd be great if we could put them on while we did it.
That'd be great. Yeah, the seller would absolutely love that.
I'm one of these crazy guys that actually enjoys going on appointments and talking to homeowners because it never gets old. It's because I've heard it all and I love it. And I know I can always help people out. So if you guys love helping people out, wholesaling is the right place to be.
Exactly. Angelica asks, I pay for PropStream and MLS. Do you recommend I let go of my MLS?
So PropStream is vital for wholesaling because it's a data
Post lists.
Yeah, it can do everything for you. So the cost of your leads are free. MLS is a personal question. If you want to do like the realtor thing and you think it's helping you out, knock yourself out. No longer you're required to use MLS just to pull comps. Well, I paid for MLS access for years, for 15 years, before I came across PropStream using listaria.com, and I don't have to rely on realtors to pull the comps. It's extremely accurate. I mean, so if you don't want to do MLS, don't do it. It's going to probably save you a fortune. I don't know what market you're in, but if you're not using the MLS, get rid of it. And then take whatever money you were spending for MLS for that year and find a marketing channel that you really want to apply it to. That's what I would do.
Exactly. What's the most affluent areas you've wholesaled? What's the largest ARV of a house that you've wholesaled?
Me, 1.6 million.
Is that a mansion?
As a mansion on the water.
Yeah, he wholesaled a mansion on the water. We got to do a video on that.
Yeah, that
was a crazy deal.
I bought it for $310,000 in 2010. I could do an entire story on that.
It was on the historic register. It was the historic register of historic places or the national register of.
I just had a picture come up on it. It was because I used to run a fishing lodge, and it was it was considered the Southern White House. But you can wholesale anything. The reality is once you get up to a certain level, you have to have a certain network to access them through brokers. You have to have big cash readily available. So most of the houses on wholesaling are usually going to be 500,000 and below.
Exactly. Let's see here. Does virtual wholesale require cold calling? No, you can do direct mail. You can SMS blast. There's so many different things you can do. Don't change the sign. Shows the realness of you guys. Okay. How do you determine your assignment fee? And can both of you guys do a live cold call one day? I cold called yesterday for 2.5 hours. I hope you were there.
And I don't cold call. I already told you it's not like
2.5 hours.
he's the cold call expert. He brought it to our business, and he spent all day yesterday. I can attest to it, man. It was a
2.5
lot of work.
hours.
So go ahead and check that part of it. As far as the assignment fee, it's up to you to set it. And a lot of times the market will tell you if you're right or wrong. If your assignment fee's too high or you're asking too much, you'll know really quickly from your cash buyers. So most people like to start out like at a $10,000 fee, but I said when you're starting out, listen, you can't get killed taking a profit, right? And if you've minimized your risk, the idea is learn from it and grow. So remember, $2,000 or $3,000 is like realtor transaction money. You got to get out of that as soon as possible and get to the 10K plus figure.
Exactly. Last couple questions here. Well, first of all, from Rigo, I'm going to say this really quick. Is it more difficult to wholesale in the current climate? It is easier because of cash buyers.
I've never seen so many people coming out of the woodwork.
There's more people making money now than before.
Yeah.
And overall, like the amount of wholesalers making money collectively is more now than it was in the past.
Yeah. So you have to spend more time on your marketing plans and spend more time working on your appointments, because when you get a deal, you're usually making a lot of money with it.
All right. Steve says, love the show, guys. I appreciate it. Steve in Boston, have a great weekend. Have a great weekend.
Boston. They say Boston's strong, right?
Oh my gosh. Enjoy your weekend. Let's see. I'm signing my first virtual wholesale deal today in Nashville. Oops. I gotta get that fixed. What should I do next after I have the contract signed? Freewholesaling.com. Literally have it in a module. What to do after you get a contract signed. Every single question I get, I think 90% of them get answered if you just go to freewholesaling.com. But to answer that, I'll tell you, right when you get a contract signed, what you need to do is bring that contract to the title company with your earnest money. At least do $100. Helps you protect you. That's what I would say. What about you? What do you think?
Signing my first. I'm sorry.
That's the first step, right?
Right after you get the deal today, Nashville. What should I do? Deal signed. I would just make sure you have some sort of EMD, and
I say next step.
Yeah, you reach out to your title company, and then I'm going straight into my disposition strategy. So, how do I do that? Go to freewholesaling.com. I would really be concentrated. You got to get cash buyers as soon as possible if you haven't worked on it. Don't panic if you don't have it, but you got to get to work. I would say tonight, like start posting ads, doing everything you can. Remember, guys, you're selling the contract. You're not selling the property. So you have to be careful how you market some of this stuff.
Boom. Alexis Mesa, thank you for watching. Thank you. I keep calling and getting nothing. A lot of not interested. The market getting harder to get distressed properties. You need a cold call drawing for hours list. You will not have that problem.
So Alexis, if you want to share with us, tell me how many calls
I'll put your butt to the fire.
Yeah.
Like I'll literally ask you, like that's why I do calls on Thursdays. Like I'll literally talk to someone and say, oh, I'm not doing well. Hey, I asked someone yesterday, how many leads did you get last week trying for dollars?
Yeah.
They said 1.
So Alexis, that is the norm, your answer to it. So if you really want to take action, and if I was going to hold you accountable, I'd ask you how many calls you made, what's your consistency, what's your list you're doing,
skip tracing.
You got to look at all that. It's just, you just get more specific with your questions. So guys, while we're on here, the more specific questions, the more I can help you out. If there's no bad question, but hey, Alexa, keep calling. Like maybe you need to sharpen your list. Maybe you need to get a little more consistency. So if you can give us more in the question specific, I can help you out more.
All righty. Let's see here. I said last couple questions. Do you just wholesale or buy sub 2 or seller financing to hold a property? My personal opinion is I think when you're starting out, wholesale the sub 2s, but once you have just a little bit of money, I hold on those sub 2s for life, right?
Yeah. So the idea is wholesaling is a great way to get started in real estate and minimize your risk. And that's what we concentrate. Once you get wet behind the ears, so to speak, you can do anything, like whatever you need to do. If you need to generate, like if you need to, Wolf of Wall Street. If you're behind on your rent, wholesale.
Good. Oh yeah. Good.
If your girlfriend's kicking you out of the house, start wholesaling. But listen, if you got money set aside in the bank like that, then why not keep it if you want to do that strategy? So start out wholesaling, and then the other two parts of your question will lead to that for you.
Exactly. Hi guys, incredible information. Thank you. Truly blessed. You guys have just been giving us the support lately. But is there any way to verify buyer's proof of funds? Literally, like, what do you say? It doesn't lie. Like, literally get a letter from the bank, not from John Smith Lenders.
Yeah. So don't
Chase,
accept the letter.
Bank of America, PNC Bank, BB&T, like.
Yeah,
TD,
so hard money letters are probably the most prevalent thing we see coming across now.
I can bring an 18-year-old out of high school and he'll give you a hard money lender thing.
So listen, I don't have a problem with people bringing hard money. My problem is
a cash buyer.
Is if this is the first deal you're buying, you've never done a hard money deal, and you give me this letterhead, dude, let's move on to the next one. So it's got to be on a letterhead. You can also, guys, you can do the screenshot with the bank app. Like all my banks, I can screenshot it. What do I need? I need to see the balance, the date, and some sort of logo insinuation knowing it's from that bank.
Exactly. Last question here. How does a beginner get started? Easiest question, freewholesaling.com. Go to freewholesaling.com. It is 3,000 members in 1 week. It is the best selling course, I know, at least this month. Overall, probably take us another month to get there. The #1 course by people going through it for wholesaling real estate. I think on a week.
Why would we do such a crazy thing, Zach?
Because I'm sick of these gurus. Sick of them. Put them out of business. I'm sorry.
So what would you define a guru as? What's a guru?
It's someone that tries to
That's a good one.
Tries to take your money. That's
so listen, we're specifically talking about people that are selling courses that have been doing it probably from 2013 on, but there's a lot of people who just did a wholesale deal.
There's people that have been wholesaling since 2000 that are gurus.
But what happens is they start flipping students and they stop flipping properties.
A definition of a guru, my personal opinion, is people that are trying to take your money and they knowingly know you will probably make more money literally spending on marketing and getting free information than not doing it. They're doing it a service to you in the industry.
So what kind of service? If I charge you $5,000 and then you go, well, Rick, I just gave you my last $5,000. I don't have any money to market. Dude, how far are you backed up on the wall when that one happens?
If the cost of the course needs a full-time sales staff to do an appointment with you, get to know you, and try to close you over the phone, you're paying too much for a course.
And don't you think that technique's been done to death? Like,
why do you think, like, these people selling the courses, like, let's say you got Guru here, but you got the sales guy who gives you the appointment and calls you. They're making 6 figures a year selling courses to you on a commission for the Guru.
Yeah.
And this is how much money they're making. It's insane.
They're getting a big cut of it because they got to talk you into it. And like, guys, when I started out, the big trick to the play was everything was called the boot camp. Then in the last 15 years, it switched to Mastermind. Masterminds used to be natural, organic, how people network together. Then, so after the boot camps came the webinar. Let's get on a free webinar. And they spent an hour pitching the product. They always kept it till the end. And it's like, it was neat. And then everybody did it to death. And what happens is the same people keep selling this information. They take a course on how to sell the course. And someone's taught in the last 7 years. And it's kind of brilliant. I'll give it to you guys. Let's make them call in. Let's not tell them the price.
No. This is it, right? Ask me how much my course costs.
How much is your course, Zach?
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
If you call this number, we'll see if you qualify.
And this is what they do. They treat you like a motivated seller. They get you emotionally riled up so you're not making logical decisions. And they get your credit card out. $8,000. Need it now. Or 7 monthly payments of $1,000, but you got $1,000. If you have to finance a course, come on.
Guys, the thing is the phone call thing, everybody knows it's coming when I got a call in. How do you qualify? Guess what? If you got a credit card, you qualify. If you're taking thousands of students, and I'm talking about people that are doing it the wrong way, do you really think you qualify for the program? It's a sales stat. And that's where my problem comes in. If they leave wholesaling full time, they're not very passionate about it because I've been doing it 19 years and I love it. Like, why would you leave this? And then you go to flipping students And then it just becomes,
They're not flipping houses, they're flipping students.
it's just revenue, baby. It's revenue. And then you start bringing all these partners and stuff like this. And listen, not everybody out there selling courses is bad, but like you guys, you got to, nobody asks questions. And the funny thing is, the higher the course price is, the more you let your guard down. It's proven. If I charge you $10,000 for a course, I go, oh, he must be legit. So okay, enough of that. You get me going on it.
Guys, wholesaling houses for real. I appreciate it. Comment below. Go to freewholesaling.com this weekend. Thank you guys so much. We are at 8K now.
Don't forget to subscribe. Share it with your friends. Guys, you can do wholesaling full-time. You just got to have a plan for it. So decide where you are in it. If you're the breadwinner for your family, you got to take care of them. Just come up with a plan. It doesn't mean, oh, I can't do this, because I came up with a plan and got it done. And I had zero support when I did it. And for the record, I heard probably the worst mentor ever when I started in this business. And I got through it. Like, I got bad advice. I did find other people to help me out, but I figured a lot of this stuff out just by my grit and discipline in doing the business. And with the support of this channel, everything you got, and now that there's no barrier to entry. And guys, listen, be careful if you see a bunch of free courses coming out.
Oh, I've gotten texts.
They are going
from 5
YouTubers
everywhere, asking me about how did you make the free course? What platform are you using? What kind of software are you using? Like, how are you sending it out? How are you sending? Because they found out I send an email. So if you sign up for the course, you get an email of all the login information for you to sign up. Like, it's very detailed. Like, it's programmed perfectly. I spent a fortune creating that free course for you guys. They're like, how did you make programming for it? Like, they're just trying to copy it. Because they're like, you know what? I know Zach does it, and then he just lets it go like for free. How can I harvest all their information so I can sell them on a $10,000 course? That's what they're doing.
Yeah. So we're not going to
5 texts.
We're not going to share what our plan is.
All over 10,000 subscribers. These people
are like, hey, what's your guys' end game? Like,
the same Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, stick around.
That's it.
I've been doing this 19 years, and with the help of Zach, we think we can completely change this business to where there's no more barriers to entry. There's no like, I got to go to this guru to get the stuff. Why not just make the stuff free? Let's help everybody get started, and let's grow this thing out.
Boom. That's it, guys. Thank you so much. Just a blessing for you guys helping us out. I think a year ago we were at, let me show a video on my phone of what the channel looked like a year ago. Like, quality wise, I think it's kind of crazy. And kind of what we've grown just to try to help you guys learn wholesaling more. Let me pop up a year ago. So a year ago was, so today's the 13th. So we got a video from the 13th. Got to keep going down here. Jeez, there's a lot of videos. Video day. All right. 13th we did. Here, I'll do this one. This was a fun one. I was behind a wall. All right. Yeah. I was behind a wall just talking with AirPods, and the thing was like crazy. That was a fun one. I was doing the same thing for a year, but things have just changed. We got a new studio. We're helping the people out, and we're growing. I think we had like 800 subscribers or something. Like, it was crazy. But thank you guys so much. It's such a blessing. Thank you so much. Any final thoughts for wholesaling houses full time before we hop off?
And guys, why we do this, we still run a full-time wholesale operation, which I always told you, whoever you work with, paid or not paid, just make sure they were doing this business every day. Otherwise, because the stuff I did in 2003, like the game's changed a lot. Technology's changed a lot. Some of the fundamentals I can still use, but we love what we do, and we hope it comes out to you. We are a father-son team. We have arguments just like everybody else. The main thing is, when I did this venture with Zach, I said, let's just have fun with it, because I was working on the Flip with Rick channel, and Zach is much more tech savvy in him, and he has the same energy level, and he's got a lot more youth. So I said, why not? What do I got to lose? And he was sitting there recording those little videos. I had no idea where it would go. And then we started talking about, as we got traction, I said, Zach, we got to do it differently than everybody else. So that's how we came up with what we're doing now. And guys, go to freewholesaling.com. Do not accept anybody else's course that does it for free, because they're just doing it because they think it's trendy. And that's not how you want it. We're actually here to help everybody out. We want to create as many people for free starting in wholesaling and making up to 100K. And then the sky's the limit after that.
Boom.